going. Hello, Veneer.
Hello.
I got your message.
I bet you don't have very many U.S. guests that know what veneer is. Huh?
Exactly. I got like when I got that message yesterday. I'm like, all right, we are so using that part that it's. So thank you for being on the show. It's really honored to speak to you. So.
No, this is all fun stuff. I love talking to car guys.
Yeah, excellent. So when I got the message to say what are we covering, I wanted to say we're just going to sit back and like the South Africans say, talk cock. We're just going to talk shit. That's it.
Yep, sure.
Exactly. So for the guys on the show that don't know, Mr. Wade Kawasaki, you are the man behind Tyres, and you're the person behind chairman of the board, I think, for SEMA at the moment as well.
No, so right now, I'll kind of give you the background. Yeah. So I'm the president and CEO of Legendary Companies, and Legendary Companies owns Coker Tire as well as Wheel Vintiques and Universal Vintage Tire and Münchner Oldtimer Reffen in Munich, Germany. And so we have operations in Munich, operations in Pennsylvania and Alabama, in Los Angeles. We have a manufacturing facility there. And then, of course, our corporate offices are here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then on SEMA, I'm the immediate past chairman of the board. So I was chairman of the board for the past 2 years. I just rotated off last year. And then so now, not quite a life of leisure, still on the board of directors and still fulfill a role there on the board. And so that's still very involved, of course, with what's going on with SEMA. And of course, the SEMA and the PRI show this year, which is going to be a little bit challenged, but we'll get through it.
So do you actually ever have time to sleep? I mean, that's a lot to have on your plate.
You know what? And I'll tell you, there's nothing good about COVID-19. And I feel very bad for a lot of the businesses, especially the small businesses like ours that are struggling through this time. But I tell you what, taking all of my travel off of my plate for a few months was a very refreshing change.
I can believe that.
Got me to spend more time here in the office, in our corporate offices. We've got a lot of projects underway that have helped us gain efficiencies and do what we do better. So I think in that sense, it was actually a positive for us. We also were already prepared to have folks work from home. So that wasn't something that was really difficult transition. We're able to easily slip into that work from home status. So what we did was we sent about a third of our staff work from home. That allowed us to create the social distancing here at the office necessary to be able to operate the company in an effective way. And so it was good. And of course, it took away all of my travel. All the events, as you know, were canceled, which is just heartbreaking. Not only because it's our opportunity to talk to our customers, and that's the really important thing, right? To be able to talk to your customers, see what's going on out there in the industry and what we could do to serve them better. But it's also, we use that as an opportunity for us to sell product too. So it was disappointing. And then as a car guy, car collector, I mean, I just miss hanging out with car guys. So thanks for feeding that addiction and being able to chat with you. But no, it's my life, of course, is pretty busy and hectic, but it was nice taking a break from the travel for a bit. And my travel schedule is going to fire back up at the end of this month. So
you guys, by end of the month, you guys are back in full swing again. Everything goes back to normal. Well, as normal as things will be, after.
Right. Yeah. So I hate using the word new normal. I think that there's a lot of change that's going to happen within and how the consumer interacts with us. I think though a lot of that changes in behavior, consumer behavior is going to be permanent. I think that that it isn't going to go back to the way it was before COVID-19. So we'll have to see how that is. Fortunately, a lot of our business is directly to the consumer. We have a very good web presence and people ordering online, and so we're kind of well prepared for that. So business is still really good.
They say that COVID has basically pushed online buying ahead by a few years. It's just basically shoved it down everybody's throat. Everyone is now catching up
Right.
because they see how important that online segment really was.
Right.
Um,
And that's what we watch. We really watch the consumer. And it's, like even me, I mean, besides hotel reservations and air flights, I don't know how many times I spend over $1,000 online,
mm,
right? When I buy something. If you take away plane tickets, you take away hotel reservations. But, most of our sales are, as you know, with wheels and tires, it's over $1,000.
easy, yeah.
And so now what has happened though is the people that were hesitant to spend that much money without actually physically talking to people, they've now become accustomed to it.
Mm.
And so, yeah, so that I think is going to be a behavior that we will continue to see that ramp up.
This has changed a lot of ways of how businesses
Yeah.
actually operate from now on. Companies are seeing that, how can I put it? Things that you don't have to have constant meetings.
Right.
You don't have to be in the same office. You don't have to have a constant meeting. Things that were going to be in a meeting could have gone through in an email quickly.
Yes.
It's like the world could actually come out of this being more efficient.
Yes. I think that's absolutely true. And I would 100% agree with you. It's really taught us a lot of very important lessons
Mm.
on how a business could operate and how to help our team to have that correct work, free time,
Yeah.
family balance in their lives. So, and that's the most important thing. We want to make sure that we treat our associates as good as we want them to treat our customers. And so,
Of course.
I think we're learning a lot of lessons.
You represent one of my favorite brands, which is Coca Tyres. I've had a set of Cocas in my life. It was for 49 Ford project.
Great.
Yeah, got a set of Cocas in. We've got a local company here called Thundersport, who's the representative for Cocas
Right.
on the side. I've always been completely flabbergasted by the product, how the white wall came back.
Right.
How did that process of getting white walls back into production? How did that happen?
Yeah, so Harold Coker founded Coker Tire, over 50 years ago. Great visionary guy, and basically it started out. He was a B.F. Goodrich tire dealer, and and he was an antique car collector. And all of his friends were saying, "Hey, I wish they would make these white wall tires. They don't make them anymore. I don't have any way to get new ones for my vehicle, and I actually want to drive the vehicle." And so he started looking around and finding places where he can buy old molds that were retired by the tire companies, being able to put a white wall on those tires at a contract manufacturer, and then being able to sell that. I don't think back then, out of his little B.F. Goodrich retail tire store, he ever had imagined what this has turned into now. And not only the white wall tires for the brass era cars, and even older, right into late 1800 cars, but now all the way up through muscle cars, and now we're even looking. We're doing a lot of 80s and 90s vintage tires or classic tires as well. So the business has really grown. We sell to over 40 different countries, as you know, in South Africa, and it's been a neat experience to be able to allow people to keep their vintage and classic and collector car vehicles on the road the way they were originally designed. And I think the nice thing is that auctions have really helped us get that message out, right? If you look at Barrett-Jackson, you look at Mecum auctions, RM auctions, Sotheby's, all of those auction companies, they teach people that the more closely your car is to original, the more it's valued. So it's been a good relationship with the auction companies. Of course, we're a major sponsor of Mecum auctions, and they've been a great partner. They have a phenomenal auction. They're bringing a lot of new people that weren't traditional hot rodders into the market.
That's the part that really, I think, kicked it off on your side, was when that traditional hot rod started coming back. I mean, it's probably about 10 years ago. I mean, because the traditional came back around the same time as the rat rods. You had the rat rodders and then the traditional boys. And I mean, that's when it started kicking in in South Africa. All of a sudden, here's this product available that you can start buying white walls. Because up until then, the only thing I think we could find was those white wall inserts.
Right.
And there was horrible white wall paint that you could do.
Yep.
I went through all of that, and I think guys didn't realize look, we've always tried to explain to people that tire prices are based, if I'm not mistaken, tire prices are based on production. The more you produce, the cheaper it gets.
That's all right.
Yeah. And as much as the guys were saying, you know, I say the white walls are expensive, I'm like, yeah, but there's no substitute for the real thing.
All right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. And, you know, and guys like Michelin and Bridgestone, they're really good at building 1 million tires,
Yeah.
you know, at a time. They're really bad at building even 10,000 tires at a time. We build sometimes less than 100 tires at a time. So when you do it and when it's that specialty, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more money. But I think the value that the vehicle has at the time you want to exchange hands, and the look and stance that it has when it has the right set of tires on, it really makes a big difference.
No, exactly. It completely. It's you know, wheels, tire, and stance can make a car. You know, I mean, it's been you've seen it so many times. The guy's got a complete junker, and he changes the wheels and tires, and he gets the stance right, and you know, looks like $1 million immediately.
Yes, it does. And that's a big thing that you mentioned. Most people don't get that, but you got to get the stance right.
Yeah.
So it's got to be the right wheel and tire combination, and the suspension has to be set in a way that it gives that proper stance. And if you do just those 3 things, that will make an amazing difference in your vehicle.
Exactly. And what have you got sitting in the garage? So.
Well, I've got a few collector cars, obviously. I would say, in fact, it's funny. My most recent acquisition, well, not second most recent acquisition, was a Jaguar Project 7, which was a super interesting car. It was built in 2016. Jaguar wanted to do a homage to the D-Type coupes that won, or the D-Type Roadsters that won in Le Mans. And so they had their Jaguar Racing division build this special homage edition of a Jaguar, and they built 250 total. 50 came to the United States, and I was fortunate enough to acquire one of those 50. And just a fun car, you know, supercharged V8. It's really like driving a British muscle car. It's a super tail happy. It's a great driver's car to drive around, and so I'm really enjoying that. And but my most recent acquisition was actually at a Mecum auction. In fact, it was I bought the last car at the last Mecum auction, and it was a car that ran earlier in the auction, and they had to rerun it. And it was a 1966 21 window Samba VW bus.
Is it still completely original and everything?
It's 100% nut and bolt restoration. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous car. It's super reliable. I've taken my family out, my kids and my new grandson out in it. It's a fun time. I mean, everyone's smiling and giving you thumbs up and waving at you as you drive by. We drove along.
I saw that on your Facebook page. I saw photos of you and the family. Oh, that thing's beautiful. Absolutely.
Oh, we had a wonderful time. It was magic.
A while back, I restored Vans clothing at a bay window bus. Yeah, we did. And I mean, it's awesome. It's just they were so slow, so slow. You know, you kind of want to do a Flintstone and put your foot through the floor and try and push it. Not great.
They don't stop well either.
Yeah, no, they're stopping. I mean, but you're basically driving a brick. You know.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Not great for in the morning if you have to get the kids to school on time. Yeah.
No, it's definitely a weekend car.
Yeah, definitely. But did you see that they now do electric conversions to those?
I do. Isn't that I saw both those and as well as and I know that actually Volkswagen is introducing in 2021 electric brand new buses.
Really?
So yeah.
Oh, okay. I need to follow up. I know someone told me a while back that VW is actually launched the classic section where they're going to reproduce parts because the classic market has grown so much over the last few years.
Yeah.
That they're bringing back, I think it's all the Beetle parts, Mark 1 Golf or Rabbit that you guys have the Rabbit. And then the VW, the split window and the bay window bus, they're going to start reproducing parts under a VW Classic. So I think those are going to be awesome. But you've worked with SEMA for so long. What do you? I mean, Dan and everybody said SEMA is a go. It's going to be a little bit different, but it's still going to be a go. And I think everybody's excited. From our side, we're just hoping we can get out the country so we can get there, and we can get allowed into the country on your side, obviously.
Yeah, we're very excited about the 2020 SEMA show. You know, our mission at SEMA is to help our members' businesses succeed and prosper. And in order to do that, the SEMA show is such an important part of their marketing, of their promotion, of introducing new products, introducing, new technology, and to allow the trade to be able to see what the latest trends are for the industry for that year. You know, we had over 2,000 exhibitors participate in our booth space drawing. So that's telling us that there's all these companies that are really counting on us to provide this venue, a safe venue, mind you, but a venue to be able to do that, to showcase their new products, show off their new technology, and for us to all be able to take a look at the latest trends in our industry. So we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to doing it safely. There's unprecedented measures in place to make sure that things are disinfected and sanitized. So to your point, the show will be a little bit different. How much different is going to depend really on what happens between now and then. But we are 100% full bore going to go on with the show.
And then from a car building perspective, what's the new trend that you think is coming out? I mean, I was talking to Rebecca from classiccars.com yesterday, and we were saying that there's a lot of Broncos coming out, and Blazers, and the 4x4s really, the old 4x4, the 70s, 80s style is really coming into like the muscle car market at the moment. Yeah. And I know, there's a few cars like that being built at the moment. What are you seeing is actually expecting to come out?
Yeah, I think we see it in kind of three different slices, right? The Bronco, Blazer, SUV market, really hot, and truck market, super hot right now. And, we build a lot of product for that market. So we see the increases in sales in those areas. And that is actually starting to break into the mainstream more, right? Because with the muscle car, it's really the car guys, right, that are getting those. But with the Bronco and Blazers, I was at Trader Joe's in LA a couple of weeks ago, and there was like a 30-year-old girl driving a vintage Bronco. And I walked up to her and I said, gosh, what made you decide on this? And she said, you know what, these things are so cool and I just love them. And, I always wanted one and I didn't even know where I could buy one. And she found a builder and he built her this great Bronco. Nice. So I think it's not just car guys now. It's getting that whole segment is broadening out. So it's a really good segment for us. I still think that whole muscle car, getting into the more modern 70s, 80s cars is a strong market here in the United States and really around the world. Yeah. We even see a good uptake in South Africa and do our muscle car wheel sales in South Africa. So that continues to be strong. And then, of course, the young timer cars are really starting to bring more people into the industry, right? More people are wanting to be passionate car guys now because the younger people are wanting to buy their high school dream cars. And so, we welcome all of that. Any access point where people can grab that kind of bug and have the same passion that we both have for the automobile is a good thing for us.
Exactly. Well, like we were saying yesterday, the Fox body is becoming cool. Yeah. That's when things are changing. People. Yeah. As soon as the Fox bodies came in, that's just changed. Oh, I'm looking for one again. After the discussion yesterday about that, I'm like, maybe I do need to find one. And get a nice set of Cocas on there. It's going to be fun. So, what else is coming new out from your side, from Coca side? You said you guys are busy with a bunch of new products and stuff.
Yes, we are. And I'll tell you, one of the things that we'll be proud to introduce and unveil at the SEMA show this year is a line of off-road tires. So don't want to kind of spill the beans yet.
No, exactly.
For those Broncos, those Blazers, those trucks that you mentioned in all of those years, we'll have some a line of off-road tires for them as well. So exciting stuff.
I wonder if this is now going to be that change where at one point, every C10 every C10 and C20 and what's the F250 we're seeing was slammed on the ground with 22s and big wheels. I wonder if this is going to bring back the lift kit, big tire, big wheel, modern setup, suspension, modernize that, but going back to the big off-road to where the heritage was. With you guys bringing tires, that makes it possible then.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is. I think people are looking for more of the overlander type experience as more people are jumping into that overlanding. They're looking for trucks that are more capable. And even if they're not hardcore off-roaders, but they're going to look for a more aggressive tread patterns. They're going to look at something that has got a lot more grip when they take those trucks off-road. So I'm seeing a lot of growth. One of the things that just absolutely exploded, if you look at, like, for instance, Polaris's numbers during COVID, I mean, they were crazy amount of sales. They couldn't build enough UTVs. So that's another segment that's growing. And I think with that is going to be a more capable truck to be able to get those UTVs out to where they need to go.
Because, I mean, in the US, you guys have the Bronco. But I wonder if this means that we're going to see a lot of the FJs, the Toyota FJs, Land Rovers.
Land Rover,
we're going to see that. And then the original box shape Jeep Cherokee, that nostalgic start coming back, and guys are going to start rebuilding that, which is great, because that means, I mean, you guys will know. That means that new manufacturing is going to start. Guys are going to start rebuilding parts again. There's new dashboards, clips, everything that needs to be made, because there's a whole new market coming, a whole new wave. Doesn't mean that the old one's going away. It just means there's more people getting into it.
I'll tell you, I think it's already gone that way. I mean, Joel over at Fusion Cars, I mean, they build Land Rovers that are $250,000. Nice. And vintage Land Rovers. I mean, it's really coming back really strong.
So thank you so much for your time. All right.
Take care, Joe. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks. Bye.